But that's in 4/4.
I mean, the pink Floyd pattern should be dead simple, but just it's just having the one on
Yeah.
where the 8 normally
Yeah.
is.
It takes time.
It sort of knocks your brain out.
Mm.
I did find that once you've been playing it for a few minutes,
Hey, imagine for a few years, right?
yeah.
That's it.
I mean, until this week, I've never played probably anything but.
Yeah, I believe you. Yeah.
Not without without.
No, probably never. It's very easy to never play not time signature because it's so. Yeah, it is rare. It is rare. So I totally believe you that you haven't until last week. But it's now it's just a matter of spending time and thinking about it as well, counting, kind of rewiring the brain to understand that length.
That's the other thing as well. On 4/4, you've obviously got the simplest 4/4 beat. The bass drum is on a 1 and the 3.
But see, that's a pattern. What if the bass drum is not on 1 and 3? What if the snare is not on 2 and 4, and still it's 4/4? That's what I meant. You're comfortable with the pattern, not really the time signature.
I think I'm comfortable with the fact that it's divided into symmetrical halves.
Exactly.
Whereas in 7/8, that was the conundrum I had. It's like, well, hang on, if you're doing 7, where do you put the snare drum? If you put it in bang in the middle, you can't.
But what if you remember struggling with those odd groupings of threes, those implied threes in 4/4? Remember that with the accents? Jagged. Why did you struggle with that? Because it doesn't give you a perfect slice right in the middle. And that's in 4/4. So it's the patterns that we are comfortable with, not so much the time signatures. Because as soon as I get rid of those conventions, the brain breaks again, and it's in 4/4. 4/4 is not what I'm trying to say is that 4/4 is not an immediate remedy, anti-stress. Like you're in 7/8 and then 4/4. No, it depends on the pattern. If you go from a super basic 7/8 to a crazy maniac 4/4, your brain's gonna break when you play in 4/4. I'm gonna give you some motivation for you to tackle that non-ego and just get it over with. What if someone asks you for you to teach it? Man.
No, I'll sit there and say it.
Now, in all seriousness, because I was joking, but it is a good motivation, right? Like, what if someone asks me to teach this? I gotta get this down, right? And we just get it over with. A lot of things I learned them like that in the beginning of my career. Then, of course, I became self-motivated. But in the beginning, I was a little bit like that. I'd be like, man, I'm not sure my paradiddle game is up to teaching standard. So I just like, nah, gotta crush this. I can't go out there, be like, paradiddle? Yeah, right, left, right, left. It wasn't like that, but like it wasn't good. It wasn't up to my teaching standard. That's the thing, like that I had to hold myself accountable for what I was intending, because in the beginning I had nothing to show, but I was intending to ask from my students. But if I didn't have it, so that's a big motivator. Like you just go like, you know what? I got that. I'm trying to figure out the most, because it's very difficult to evaluate or to describe such subjective ideas. But what it feels like sometimes is that, and we talked about this before, which is how to begin the fill, but then you kind of get stuck in that. I don't know if you start thinking about something like what you just did, because often like you start looping that initial, so it doesn't really go anywhere, and then I'm out of bar, so I gotta finish this, and I feel like cool. Oh, we stayed there. Do you know what I mean? So what we need to do for that, there's of course tools to fix that, and I definitely relate to that, by the way. So there are two things that we can do for that. One is to really push ourselves beyond the 1 bar length, because when you do that, right, when you push yourself to go past that, and I really mean like push as in drum solo, and when we do that, we hear it a lot more present, like I am stuck in the mud, right? I'm just like dwelling in that fill. which is good because then you start like, okay, so how do I get out of this, right? Like I need some sort of either a lick that saves my butt whenever I feel like I'm here, but not based off that, because otherwise it just feeds that even more. So for example, one thing that we definitely rely a lot on is singles. So we need to come up with something else to snap you out of it, right? A different sticking, say, it doesn't matter what it is. We'll get to that afterwards. But that's one of the strategies, like to have something that helps you to gotta get out of that. I'm getting stuck again. I'm gonna tell you a story, and this is me. This is about me. I remember this vividly, and I remember this anytime and every time because it's very often. So this is nothing like that I haven't seen before and that I will not see again. So much so that I saw that with myself. I was playing with a band. This was, I don't know, too long ago. Let's move on. When I started thinking how long ago it was, I was like, I don't want to say. But I was playing with the band, and the guys... I have to say this detail because it did affect me how I was thinking at the time. These were very accomplished musicians. Very accomplished musicians. They still are. All professional musicians these days. Two of them... No, I'm lying. All of them. Music teachers at the time already. I was not. And I was playing with them, and there was a section in the song that they wanted me to play a drum solo. I couldn't go past the first rhythm. I just physically couldn't. My hands would literally freeze. And I would just stare at them like... In the beginning I kept saying things like... And they were not excuses. Like, I didn't know. Literally. It wasn't like, oh, I know I can't do this. I'll just lie to them. I was like, let's do it again. Because I thought, I made a mistake. That's how I reacted to it, right? I made a mistake. Yeah, let's do it again. Let me just... And then again. Same thing. I would play the first bar. I had an idea of how to begin. I can't tell you that it was exactly this, but it was something along these lines. Like a very singles, accents-oriented something. The problem is, I would play that and then run out. Let's do it again. And I would do it again, and then my decision was, subconscious, by the way, I'll do that again. I'll do that twice as long. And then as I heard it, because that's what I did, as I heard it was like, that's exactly the same shit. And I'm just repeating a fill. This is not a solo, this is just one fill being looped. Cool. So I was like, alright, let me think about something this week, and next practice we'll try this again. Let's move on, next song. Next week came, I had no solo. I just could not, for the life of me, go past that first bar. And it really started to bother me. And I said to the guy, the pianist, like, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I've never realized that because I could play fills, but those were small ideas. I didn't really need to work them. They would just come out, and again, I would be out of bar, boom, back to the beat, right? And he was like, but why are you stuck? And I said something like, I don't know, I'm out of ideas. I don't know what to do. And he's like, how many ideas do you want to use? Use one.